Right, ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing today? It should be Mourinho's press conference reaction, but as I said yesterday, once again, Mourinho has decided to not go live. Not go live as if he's a Twitch streamer or something. To not, to not go to the press conference. Which, we've seen a pattern. There's a pattern of this. Mourinho's missed quite a few press conferences over the course of this season. I can only find one big reason behind everything, which is just the unity of this team. And in such an important moment, in the next 2 weeks, the next 7 to 9 days are gonna determine our season. So in such an important moment, saying no to journalism is good, and saying yes to spending as much time as possible with the team is a must. So, I'm not complaining if you ask me. But today I'm going to talk about transfer news because this is something which we will see quite a lot over the next couple of weeks. The season is ending, the transfer market is starting, and the big question is, what will Roma's midfield look like next season? So yes, today we're having a glimpse of that. So if you haven't already, smash the like button if you're buzzing for the live stream. And so today I'm going to talk about Douglas Luiz. Now, you see, when I say the question is what will Roma's midfielder look next season, it genuinely is. It's genuinely a real question, because in this first year with Mourinho, I think I have understood the players which he wants he wants them to stay even next season. So, just to kind of visualize this, we have quite a few midfielders. Just to list them all, I'm going to list them all in case I miss something. We have got Cristante, we have got Oliveira, we have got Veretout, we have got Diawara, we have got Darboe, and we have got Villar as well. Now, Villar is obviously on loan in Spain with Getafe, but he is technically an AS Roma player. So we have got Villar as well in our list. You see, when you first glance at this list, you ask yourself, how the hell are we fifth in this area if we have such a weak midfielder? None of these names pop out. None of these names go, oh my god, I've got him in the midfielder. And over the course of this season, Mourinho was really good with adapting himself with the midfielders he had. We have, I've said this many times, Mourinho in many interviews has said how much the defensive midfielder section is the most important, section in his view of football. And to think that he is fifth in the league, and we were putting pressure to get fourth until last week. We're in the semi-final of a UEFA tournament with these players forming our midfielder. It's pretty interesting. I am gonna definitely cut out this list because I'm gonna say Veretout will leave and Diawara will leave. Diawara was supposed to leave this winter, but then he decided to stay. I really don't know why, because if he went to other clubs, I feel like he would have had more minutes in his legs. Diawara is a player which is, I think he's a very similar player to Ibanez in terms of confidence. Diawara is a player which is not confident of himself. I genuinely think a more confident Diawara would probably play instead of Cristante in our starting 11. But the main reason of why Mourinho has said, right, Diawara needs to leave is the confidence. Because I think when it comes to talent, I think Diawara is better than Cristante. Diawara is faster than Cristante. So I don't see why we haven't tried Diawara much over the course of this season. I want to see more of Diawara. I want to see Diawara growing more confident of himself. But what I've understood is that unfortunately he will leave. He said it, he's agreed to this in January, in the January transfer window, that to avoid any trouble making, he is going to leave the team. That leaves us with Cristante, Oliveira, Darboe and Villar. Villar has got a big question mark in him because if, he likes the Getafe team, I know Borja Mayoral is there with him and they're very good friends. If the fans start enjoying Villar as a midfielder, I could easily see Villar asking for his contract, his loan to Villar to be extended. I can see that happening. Villar loves this team. Villar loves Rome. More than, he loves the city, he loves the fans. He is someone which we definitely need to buy back. But something which doesn't fit in well is Mourinho and Villar. In fact, we've seen Mourinho starting Villar in some occasions this season and just not convincing. Villar with Fonseca was our best midfielder. This is why Villar has got a big question mark. That leaves us with Darboe, Oliveira and Cristante. Darboe, once again, is too young to start every match. I think Darboe would be perfect to loan out. Maybe to go to a club like Sassuolo. Maybe to go to a club like Torino. Loan him out, get that experience, bring him back. Definitely not start him. He's got the, Darboe once again, I really like Darboe. Out of all these midfielders, I'd probably say Darboe is my second favourite. I think the talent Darboe has is great. And, he's a young player coming from the Roma Academy. This is a pattern we've seen. We are really good. We have a really good academy team. Darboe is one of them. Look at Zalewski. Look at Darboe. Look at Felix. Look at Bove. We have got a really good academy team. Darboe needs to stay, but I'm highly pending on the side that he needs to get loaned out. That leaves us with Oliveira and Cristante. Basically, one of these two players isn't even virtually a Roma player because he is, all of his rights are at Porto's side. So if we count that, we only have Cristante as a midfielder if we don't buy anyone. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, we've got Bove as well. We've got Volpato as well. These are other midfielders, but yes, they will grow a lot, but I cannot see them starting every single match. We need a solid midfielder. This is why the CDM hunt, the central defensive midfielder hunt, starts and has started since quite a long while. And one of the names which we've seen being linked to Roma, not just in these last couple of weeks, but also last summer, is Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa. We'll talk about him in a sec. You see how much we need a midfielder, a starting midfielder, an aggressive midfielder. It's as simple as that. We cannot go forward without having solid midfielders. So, I think, even if we were to buy Oliveira on a permanent deal from Porto, we would still need another player. Because Oliveira and Cristante, yes, could start, but we've seen Oliveira's weak sides, we've seen Cristante's weak sides. That puts to mind that we need another midfielder. And this is where the link, the rumour, and Mourinho's interest in someone which he knows, having played many years in the Premier League, having managed many years in the Premier League, he is someone which Mourinho perfectly knows. And he's a very aggressive player, just what Mourinho wants. We've understood. And I think, don't get me wrong, I think one of the reasons why Villar has been cut out by Mourinho, one of the players why Darboe has been cut out by Mourinho, one of the reasons why Diawara has been cut out by Mourinho, one of the reasons why Veretout has been cut out by Mourinho is aggression. It is his aggression. So aggression is something which we've understood is vital for Mourinho's teams to work. And when it comes to aggression, I think there are a few players which, we can really buy. One of these players is Douglas Luiz. Now, I'll be honest with you, right? Because you know how much I like to find negative sides to everything. This will probably, many of you guys will probably disagree with this, but I'm gonna say it. I think out of two big Premier League aggressive players which we've been linked over the past months, which are Douglas Luiz and Granit Xhaka, I prefer Granit Xhaka. I don't know why, but I have this vision of Xhaka being a perfect midfielder for Mourinho. Because yes, Xhaka has been absolutely awful for Arsenal in these last years, but he's one of the players which I think can be completely changed by Mourinho. And so yeah, I think if you ask me right now, we will definitely buy a defensive midfielder. And if you ask me right now, I'd probably say our next defensive midfielder, which starting defensive midfielder, because obviously, we will see players which we will buy to kind of think about the future, right? Which won't start. Like, an example of this is the goalkeeper we basically almost bought by Benfica's Villar. We bought that guy not because he'll start ahead of Rui Patricio next season, but to think about the future. We will buy other players over the course of this summer, like an extra defensive midfielder, a young defensive midfielder. I'm speaking about starting midfielders here. I'm going to say it out loud. I think our next defensive midfielder will be one out of either Douglas Luiz and Granit Xhaka. I think one of the two players we're going to speak about today, is really going to be your next defensive midfielder. It will be either Douglas Luiz or Granit Xhaka. I couldn't be more convinced. I just see Mourinho. I think these two midfielders are perfect midfielders for Mourinho. But I think Xhaka kind of slightly tips it for me. I think Xhaka's got more of an experience, especially because if we want to focus on Champions League next season, getting top four, possibly league contenders, if we get in the Europa League, trying to win the Europa League, which will be very tough. Even this season, when it comes to winning the Conference League, you need experience. And I think Xhaka playing in a club like Arsenal, yes, Arsenal has not been playing UEFA tournaments many UEFA tournaments over the last couple of years, but I think Xhaka's got that experience of playing in a top club like Arsenal, right? I think Douglas Luiz, yes, will be great, but I also think Douglas Luiz is a great player, but is also a great player through the limits Aston Villa are. And I think just like the player we were talking about last week, which was Lisandro Martinez, I think many people have a massive vision of Lisandro Martinez, but then if you kind of jot everything back, he plays for Ajax. The same with Douglas Luiz. However, obviously Douglas Luiz does play in a way more competitive league than Ajax. Douglas Luiz and Lisandro Martinez, I would 100% choose Douglas Luiz. But when it comes to him and Xhaka, if we need to buy one of the two, I would go for Xhaka, if you ask me. I would go for Xhaka because I think experience and aggression together combined play a big part. And Xhaka's just got that bastard view as well. You know what Mourinho really loves? Being a bastard on the pitch. Xhaka really has that. Douglas Luiz doesn't, also has that as well. But when it comes to prices, we have to think about prices as well. Douglas Luiz costs £35 million. That is a lot. That is a lot, ladies and gentlemen. £35 million for one player is a lot. My view. My view is buying a lot of small players instead of one single player and spend a lot of money. But this is the situation. I think Xhaka would cost less. I think the fact that Xhaka wants to leave the club does play a big part. I think if Thiago Pinto enters a really good agreement, a really good deal with Arsenal, I think we can get Xhaka for not many quid. Also, another factor when it comes to Xhaka is Champions League football, because when it comes to if Arsenal get in the Champions League next season, I think obviously the probabilities of Xhaka staying in maybe at least one other year for the Champions League will increase, and that is where the Douglas Luiz sign kind of comes boosting up. I think both these players would be great. I think Douglas Luiz would be perfect Roma, also to step up his career levels. It would be step up his managerial. Being managed by someone like Mourinho, playing with experienced players, playing with top players like Tammy, Smalling in defense. I think Douglas Luiz would also step up his career when it comes to joining Roma. But he's 23 years old, 35 million is his value, plays for Aston Villa. I think the price is kind of, might be question mark when it comes to Douglas Luiz, I'm not going to lie. Douglas Luiz is very young though, that's definitely something which will play a big part, obviously when it comes to price as well. But big question mark on Douglas Luiz's price. I think he's better than other options that we've had. I think he is better than many other players which have been linked to Roma. But you know what? You know how much I think, once again, I think it would be very hard to satisfy me, right? Because I'm a very complicated person when it comes to satisfaction. There you go. That's one of my few drawbacks. But I think, once again, don't rush this. Because we have a lot of time. It's good to start thinking about these players now, but you just think about this. Right now is not the moment to think about transfer market. Right now, it's the moment to step in the next Europa League. It's the moment to win the Conference League. And Mourinho's kind of concentration on the transfer market shouldn't be present now. Thiago Pinto should, because he does that for a living. But Mourinho's shouldn't. Mourinho's concentration right now should be on the players. Because we've seen how much this team has evolved in the last couple of weeks when it comes to confidence, when it comes to collaborations, when it comes to playing together, when it comes to getting big results. We've seen this evolve in a positive way in the last couple of weeks. We cannot end this now because this is the most important part of the season. I'm going to say it again. The next 9 days, 7 to 9 days, are the most important days, arguably, in the history of the club. But when it comes to Mourinho himself, they're very important days. Because just to put your perspective, Bologna, the next 9 days, we've got 3 matches in the next 9 days, which are Bologna, Leicester, and Fiorentina. The next 9 days are the most intense and important 9 days of the history of the club, I'd say. Because one of the 3 matches which we'll be playing in the next 9 days kind of puts a big mark on our on the Champions League, on the Europa Conference League, sorry. If we get in the final, we have it. We either bottle it or we either win it. It's a 50-50% chance. And the other 2 matches are when it comes to Europa League, which can easily be underestimated. If we win tomorrow against Bologna, I already said this, we would put a big step in the Europa League next season. Lazio is playing tonight. Hopefully they lose against the team who's fighting to not get relegated. And Fiorentina next Monday, if we win that match, 98% run the Europa League next season. If we lose that match, it'll be yikes. It'll be a very bad ending to the season. So that is why the next 9 days the concentration needs to be maximized. And transfer market, yes, it's important to think about it, but it's not our primary focus. Transfer market will be important the second the season ends. And by then, we will speak about more deals and stuff. But Douglas Luiz is one of the players which, this isn't, I've seen someone asking, this isn't a lower tier rumor. This is a player who Mourinho has been interested in since quite a long while. I can see it happening. As I said, I think our next defensive midfielder will either be Xhaka or Douglas Luiz. I'm confident on that. Will we go to the stadium on Thursday? No, mate. Unfortunately not. Tickets just went, you know what I mean? Like literal speed, like bang. They went like that. But I am going to the stadium tomorrow, so stadium vlog will go out later tomorrow, late in the evening. just like the Bottle Limp one. So notifications on, because it'll be a good one. It's not a semi-final, but it is a very important match. But I am not heading to Leicester on Thursday. But who knows? If we get in the final, who knows? Maybe you'll see me in Albania. Maybe we'll meet there if I manage to get tickets and stuff. So yeah, if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, smash that subscribe button. Let's try and get 3,700 subscribers as fast as possible. If you haven't already, subscribe if you're watching this, and also like the live stream as soon as it becomes a video as well. Before reading some comments, let me just see the results of the poll. What you guys think about Douglas Luiz? Right, we have got 68% yes, 32% no. Yeah, so that's the result. Let me read some comments. And in the meantime, follow me on Instagram over there in the yellow box at Salmon_AS_. Diawara is weak mentally. He's not aggressive enough. Doesn't deserve to play anymore. Should have been gone already. What the fuck is happening with Diawara? He's on the bench every game. Yeah, I want to see more of Diawara as well. I agree. I agree. There are obviously reasons he's not playing. We know he has a bad attitude. I just realized Douglas Luiz has only 1 more year remaining on his contract this summer. Nice. He would be a great signing, honestly. Also, another tactic I could see is waiting until he's a free agent and then, kind of boost the... kind of buy him. Simon Douglas Luiz has 1 more year remaining on his contract, so he won't have to pay his full market value. Yeah. We need a backup for Mickey, who has been vital for our form. We need a defensive midfielder who dominates the game and dictates the play. Just compare our team to Inter, and who would get into their team from ours. 15 to 20 million is a steal for Douglas Luiz, or even if it's 25, I will still take him. I'd prefer Luiz. Says Logical Fallacy Watch. I got it thanks to my friends. Yeah, I was supposed to do the same thing, because there's basically this thing when it comes to Roma, where basically if someone has a season holder, then if they don't go, they can loan it to you. But once again, who doesn't go? Who won't go to the stadium on Thursday? I mean, unless you get COVID or something, you really will go to the stadium. That's why next season I am, most probably I am gonna be a season ticket holder, just because, one, I think stadium vlogs are amazing, yeah, away, and also by doing that you have the priority to buy away tickets when it comes to international and national away matches as well. And something which I've said many times, next season will be great. More stadium vlogs to come, and especially from different countries as well, which is one of our biggest objectives next season. So if you haven't already, smash the subscribe button, like the live stream, and I will catch you on Monday. I mean, I'll catch you tomorrow virtually, because I will be going to the stadium, as I said, with Josh. But yeah, I'll catch you live on Monday. So if you haven't already,